You're wearing a hat.
Yeah. You're the one who normally wears a hat tonight. I decided to wear a hat.
I am wearing a hat tonight because we're back in normal mode. Last week we had to be professional, so I didn't wear the cowboy hat.
Yes.
But you
But
don't normally wear a hat.
that's not your cowboy hat though.
Yeah, this is it. This is the one and only.
Is it?
The
What
ring
about
is
your
Western,
boating hat?
but I'm taking it off because it is so insanely hot here.
Yeah. Which
It's
hat
out of
am I
control.
wearing?
Well, it looks like a
Normally,
Mercedes hat.
normally I'm normally I'm seen in a bucket hat. That's my
Okay.
usual gig, but tonight I'm wearing a cap actually.
Yeah, it's for the audio listeners, it's red and yellow, and it
Yes.
has some sort of animal on the front of it.
Yeah. What sort of animal is that?
Looks like
You
some
think?
kind of stallion.
Yes, that is right. Because Formula One is back.
It is. And you're going for
And it's
Ferrari now.
I was always going. I went for Ferrari last year. That's how I got
You're
this hat.
going. You're going for the only team that you know, the only driver that you know is out of a job at the end of the season.
Poor Carlos.
Unfortunately.
um,
Have you
this
got a
is one
beer?
of the
Because I've got a beer and I want to
yes.
drink it immediately.
Okay, great. What have you got?
I've got this one here. I don't know if you've seen it.
Is that the Hiker Adam beer?
This is the Adam beer. The other one, Jack Daniel Barrel Aged Adam beer, the one and only 3.1 standos with. Look at the back.
Ah, there's
Look at
there's
that.
us on the tin.
That's us from 20 years ago in cartoon.
I've got kind of a sponsored beer.
Oh, okay.
It's not sponsored by the brewery, but it was gifted to me, and
Oh,
I'm pretty.
oh boy. Oh no. Oh boy.
What's
Okay.
going on?
Well,
there?
but we don't have to talk about this because most people listen to our podcast and don't watch it. So we can just
That's
pretend nothing
good.
happened.
Was
Wow.
that a little bit of a accident
Well, there was a
with
bit of
your beer?
transport involved, and I didn't really let it sit there for too long. So it's lively.
Ah, I've got a beer from Interstate.
Oh wow. What do you got?
I've got this Bright Star Hellas.
Oh, nice. Bright Star.
Yes.
Let's get a little
So the
photo
hat,
of the.
the cap, and the Bright Star Hellas. Oh, you're gonna get a photo?
Wait, good. Yeah, but I got to get my cowboy hat on. Perfect. I'm listening. I've got to
We're
clean up here. Someone didn't clean here before I started my podcast,
Oh, okay.
but I can still hear you.
What happened? Did someone spill something?
No. It's just we don't clean. It's we only clean when we have to clean, and now is the time where you have to clean. You know what I mean?
No,
Okay.
no idea. Oh,
Yep.
this beer's looking good.
So where did you get this beer from?
I got it from Brad from Rallings, along with this Ferrari cap,
Oh wow.
as a birthday present. So
Oh, he
there you
gave you
go.
that
Look at
hat as a
that.
birthday present? That's
I have two.
wow. Love that. That hat is coming off. Oh shit. Okay.
Well, that's really good.
Nice.
I love that. I
This
love Bright Star.
this is a good slightly different than the first time I had this, which was at Al Tandy train station the other weekend.
Yeah, I saw
Um,
that.
this actually smelled pretty good out of the glass.
Yeah.
It's not really
Oh,
the
what a
kind of
week.
drink you drink out of the can at the train station, but
No,
I
but you
did.
did.
I did. And the lady kept coming up. There's a lady cleaning the whole time.
Yes.
And she kept coming up, and I was like, look at that. Look at that. Because my head's on the can. It
Oh
doesn't even really
dear.
look like me because it's so long ago, but she enjoyed it.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah. So good party. Your
It was
60th.
good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
50th, yes. That's
Now,
right.
can you confirm that this happened, right? This is my recollection of what happened.
Okay.
During your speech, you
Yes.
told everyone you were going to fill them in on the last 10 years of your life in 120 seconds.
That's right. I did.
And then you began to talk about the last 10 years of your life, and it took you about 12 years to do so.
12 years? No, it's
Yeah.
only 120 seconds.
No, I think it was more than that. I think it was a little more than 120 seconds.
You reckon? I
Yeah.
felt like 120 seconds. I
Well,
thought it was pretty quick.
It didn't to me.
I tried not to be like really slow and rub it on and all that sort of thing, but It was 120 seconds.
Yeah, right. You
And
didn't try
anyone
hard
else who's
enough.
there will vouch for that.
Righto, righto. Did you hear when your brother's very funny. That was pretty hilarious
Yeah.
speech. When he goes, what how many high schools did Hendo go to? And someone yelled out, as a student.
Yeah.
That was my favorite moment from the speeches. That was enjoyable.
There's some crackers there. Yeah, no, it was a really good night. It was so good to see um so many people from so many different chapters of my life. And going all the way back to the early 90s, or well, family I've known pretty much all my life, but going all the way back to the early 90s when I used to live on the halls at the halls of residence over at Mount Gravatt with the university there. And that was actually really interesting because there's two buildings. There was Bandara and Luana, the two buildings there at Res. And basically, I was friends with. I used to live in the boys' corridor with all the boys getting all boorish and all that sort of thing, and then all the girls were over in the other building. Not that it was a girls' building; it was a mixed campus, but I lived in a pretty notoriously blokey corridor,
You're a frat
and
boy.
yeah, pretty much, yeah,
Yeah.
and pretty much thrown in the deep end as far as that goes, and then but I was still friends with a lot of the girls and that sort of thing over in the other building. So I catch up with both sets, but those sets of people hadn't actually seen each other since Res like 30
That's funny.
30 odd 35 30 nearly 35 years ago. And so it was really good to get them together. And there was people from when I lived in London. The only chapter of my life that was where there was somebody missing was when I used to be a tour guide in Europe, but I nearly had Otto there. And of course all the beer people and all that sort of stuff.
Mm.
And oh, well, probably when I lived in Perth as well and was married and stuff like that. And it was really good. So it was good catch up with everyone. I got some amazing gifts. Would you like to see some of them? I'm going to show you
Yeah.
this one
Well, show
here
us the other Ferrari hat.
because this one is handmade. Be very careful not to break it. So I got this.
Oh, wow. Well, I can only see myself there, but that's weird.
Hang on, let me just try that. There you go. You're not in the reflection there.
Oh, that's
So basically,
that's
it's
so cool.
it's a it's three little Jack Daniels bottles with a plaque that says Hendo's emergency kit break glass. Actually, quite scared to break this glass. It was Adam Shell who gave
That's
that to me,
funny.
and which was the other, not that one, the other one. And he made that. He was like, when he gave it to me, he goes, "You got to be really careful. I don't want to break it." Now I know why. It's meant to be broken at some stage. So I'm going to go stick it on the wall over here
That's such
behind
a
me
good
at some
idea. He actually made
stage.
that.
Yes, he made that. It's in like a deep frame and all that sort of stuff, and it's very very well done.
That's funny.
Man, I got some amazing gifts. Like my my friends who I mentioned in my speech there, Duncan and Anna and Rooney and Lil and at the other Adam Shell and Natsuko got me like a V8 supercar drive. I get to drive a
Oh,
V8
that's cool.
supercar. And they were hilarious because they gave it to me and then they whispered in their ear, "They've only got Fords," and I'm like, "Fuck you." And
At least they won't break down.
yeah, and my friend Phil, who's currently traveling in his caravan in Tasmania with his partner, got me a PS5.
What?
Yeah,
Jesus
me.
Christ.
He's like he's doing all right. I used to study IT with him back in uni. He used to live on res as well, and he was just on holiday, couldn't make it. He goes, and every time, so that's Phil. That's the guy who I go drink Hollandia with
Yeah, yeah.
every 3 months or so, and that sort of thing. And he was away, and he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I can't make it. Have you got a PS5 yet?" I said, "No," because we play video games and that sort of thing when I go around to his. I said, "No, no, no." He goes, "Well, I've just bought you one on Amazon. It's going to arrive tomorrow." And I'm like, "Are you serious?"
That's
So I
crazy.
got a PS5.
Wow.
Perko. Oh my God, Perko comes up with the goods. Perko gives me 3 bottles of beer, three magnums of beer. There was a 2013 Rodenbach vintage.
Wow.
Like
He's happened to
it's
have it?
there's no other way that he was there's no way he was buying that beer. These
Yeah.
3 beers have come out of his personal stash.
Wow.
And there was a couple of bottles of Cantillon as well. He got me. Now I don't drink sours very often, but when I do, it's always Cantillon with Perco. I love it. So
Nice.
that was pretty awesome. I got Jack Daniels in all its forms. I got Gentleman Jack, usual number 7. I got the little 10% tins. I
Did you
got
get the
some
orange one?
hards. No, no. I got some hard solo
Oh, nice.
4 pack. I got a hard solo case with a lemon tree in it from Coop. There was Kyle and Sarah from Alice Springs got me a local, I don't know if it's local, but really nice bottle of bourbon. Um, and they came to the party.
I
It
know, I
was
saw
amazing.
Kyle just as I was
Did you
leaving.
say? Yeah,
Yeah,
did you
no, I
say
said
hi?
g'day. I said g'day, yeah. It's just, I don't know, I feel like a bit of an asshole at those things because you're talking to one person, someone else says hello, and you're kind of like, fuck, I feel like I didn't talk to that person for long enough. But
Yeah,
I did talk, I did say g'day to him, and I was kind of surprised, like, you're here. I kind of just forgot that he was coming.
yeah.
And
I've
I
got
said something
a
stupid. I was like, oh, Aaron used to live in Darwin.
one of those awkward moments where you're
Yeah,
trying to be
I
social.
always say something awkward, I'm like, and then as I said, I was like, wait, Darwin's actually nowhere near Alice Springs, is it? Like it can be
Exactly.
fucking further
Yeah.
from Alice Springs.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
And
that was nice to see
what
him.
else? I I got a Boston the Brewer t-shirt.
Oh, no
Uh,
mention of Boston the Brewer in the speech, by the way.
no.
No,
It was just too well. I was limited to 120 seconds. You see, so
apparently not. It's just 12 minutes and no mention of Boston the
I
Brewer.
know. And my God, there was way more people there than I anticipated.
I think
I was
pretty
ex
much everyone was there for your
I
thing,
think
weren't they?
everyone
Like,
was there. Yeah, I
yeah,
was expecting 60. I think we had 90 there. So
yeah.
that was pretty good, and it was amazing, and I had an amazing night. It was really good. I had a few people come from interstate. Um, my friend Erica came up from Geelong. My old friend from way back in the day, Georgie, came all the way down from Noosa. There's a lot of people come from a long way. It was so good. Yeah, so good.
I thought I
So
was making a lot of effort getting the train from Gold Coast to El Tandy, wherever the
where
fuck
is
that is.
Altandy? Is that the closest station to Hiker? Is it?
Well, not really, but I think it's kind of, if you get off there, if you don't get off there, you're on an express train. The next stop is Park Road, which is like in Brisbane.
Ah, okay.
So I was going to get off, and I wasn't going to fuck around
Oh,
and get
that's the Gold. It's
other
because you're on the
trains.
Gold Coast train. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so it was get there and get a cab. Oh, sorry, an Uber, which was basically the same thing as going to Brisbane and getting an
yeah,
Uber. But it wasn't too bad. The train was fine, and we didn't get a ticket because it was too confusing. So we got a free train trip pretty much.
yeah, yeah.
And they
So
let us
yeah, all
drink
in all,
Adam beer.
it was an amazing night, and the 2 beers were good. So Dan put together that I was supposed to brew, but I was overseas at the time. So the New Zealand Pilsner and the Black IPA, which incidentally, you should, if you're listening to this and you want to try my birthday beers, they're actually branded as hiker beers. Here you go. So
Nice.
you've got the Pinnacle New Zealand Pilsner and the Twilight Black IPA.
They were both very good.
And I'm pretty sure they're going to be online on the Hiker website. So go and grab a 4 pack or a box or something like that. Especially if you like Nelson Sauvin, and yeah, get in there. It was amazing that the whole thing was just so well done, and I'm very grateful for all of the gifts. And there's too many to mention, but all the gifts and all of the people that showed up, and to Hiker and Mr. Tokyo Dog for putting on the food and that sort of thing. It was great.
And the hiker guys weren't even working. They were just
No,
having beer and
I
enjoying.
made that a rule. In that I said to them, I'm going to have my birthday party here, but you're not allowed to work. They said that's okay, and yeah, it was pretty good. I think they both had a really good time. So
Yeah, they got it sorted. He's got his kids working behind there. He's got some customers with the RSAs
mhm.
pulling beers. It was all good.
It was really good. So
Not
yeah,
sussed.
thank you to everybody. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for showing up and marking the moment with me. Thank you for the longest 120 seconds of your life.
Was very, very long speech.
Was a pretty wild 10 years though, wasn't it?
Yeah, lots happened.
It's just
Yeah.
like I was just sort of like I really intended that to be 120 seconds, but man, I've had some ups and downs, and that was the whole point of
Mm.
both the two beers and the and what I said in that speech as well was that life's got its ups and downs, and I was very much very grateful for where I'm at now. I feel like, as far as life goes, I'm in a pretty good space at the moment, but that's temporary. And I've had some bloody horrible lows as well. And you have support from good friends and family and all that sort of stuff. And you just keep punching.
Yeah, that was interesting that when you mentioned when you'd moved to Queensland,
Yeah.
I didn't even realize, like, back then we were kind of aspiring to start a company, and I was looking
Yes.
up to you like you were a god, and I was just happy to
Yes.
be in your presence.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that we were kind of, useful to you in any way at the time, because it was kind of, it sounds like it was useful to hang around us at the time,
Oh,
make you feel.
100%. It was like the time that you're talking about was when I moved up to Queensland from Melbourne when Brewcolt was imminently about to go under. And I was at the point where I didn't have any money for rent. I couldn't make
Mm,
next month's rent. And I knew the business was done or imminently about to be done and liquidated or something like that. And I just left. I actually rang my brother and I said, mate, I think I don't have money for rent and the business is done. And he said, well, I'll buy you a plane ticket. Just come up and hang out at the farm. And I hang out there for a week or two and that sort of thing. And then yeah, I was basically homeless and broke and an inch away from bankruptcy. And it was, my sister went away for a while, and so I moved into her place with her two kids, my niece and nephew, and just built up things from there.
mm,
It was just going from literally nothing. When I eventually moved down the Gold Coast when I got the job at Stone and Wood, um, like Smokey was super supportive,
yeah.
and because we lived practically on the same road, I was living on Pacific Parade down at Currumbin, and he was up the top end of the up Currumbin Valley, and we'd go for motorbike rides or hang out and drink beers or something like that, helping build the brewery and hanging out with you guys as well. At Black Ops was really good. That Christmas party at the old place
Mm,
before you knocked that place down was pretty wild, and that was
yeah.
basically my father was like days from dying at that point,
Mm,
and it was just good to let off some steam and that sort of thing, um, and just hanging around and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I know I probably didn't say much at the time, but
no, definitely
it
not. But
was
we didn't know
just
each other that
super.
well either. I don't
No,
think.
but it was just good to just hang around, and that sort of thing, and hang out with you guys and your team and probably Cuzzy as well at the
Mm.
time, and
It's good to see
it
Kazi at
was
your party too. That's nice. He's
yeah,
doing well.
yeah. So yeah, it's good, and you just gotta just take. I found it very hard at the time to accept help from people and that sort of thing.
Mm.
I'm fiercely independent. I think I get that from my mum, who is fiercely independent and didn't give too much away. But it was good to with those people that were there, the photos on the TV and that sort of thing as well was really representative of the good times and not so good times and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Very good. I was hoping to see Smokey or Lukey there, but I think they had. I messaged Lukey afterwards. I think they had something on.
No, they both called and said they couldn't make it. Lukey was running a bar.
Mm.
And Smokey had to look after the kids, I think. So
Yeah. So all right, so a bit of housekeeping. I thought we'd remind people about last week's episode because we don't normally do serious episodes, but I had a
yes,
lot of people come up to me at your party and mention last week's episode
yes.
as something they enjoyed
How
listening to.
many?
And 12,
Yeah,
I'd say.
that's good.
Or some sort of multiple of 12. um,
I
but
can't
yeah,
believe
I
we
thought
had
it
all
was
12 there.
I thought it was well, there was a lot there. I
Yeah.
didn't move from my section. I kept running into people that inadvertently part of the 12.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I think it was a great episode and it's worth listening to. And rather than listen to us rabbit on about the IBA, listen to Kylie because she's actually
Oh,
running the
it
thing.
was really good. That was just like I just reached out to her just purely randomly. Just dropped an email and said, a bit of a tough week in history. You want to have a chat? And she sort of, and she said, yeah, I think it's a good time to have a chat and that sort of thing and set the record straight on a few things. And I said, absolutely, let's do that. And she did. And it was a really, really good chat. I'm really liking some of the changes that are in the works for the IBO. I won't say coming, but are in being discussed and proposed and all that sort of thing at the moment.
Yeah.
Particularly around the change in the constitution for the IBA, which is really interesting, which has been voted on by brewery members at the moment. The fact that associate members, so basically Rockstar's an associate member of the IBA. There'll be 2 board seats, or they're going to. The change in the constitution is proposing 2 board seats to associate members, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
Removing the volume cap, putting beer onto the indie seal.
I mean, we got all the stuff we talked about. I think we got.
Yeah, we
haven't
done.
got it yet, but it's in the works. We got the volume cap, the beer. We've potentially got a podcast, although she was a bit less direct, less confirming about that. But we pretty much got it called.
Just one step at a time, mate.
Yeah. No, that was good. And the other thing that happened was, so this is what happened, right? After that episode, I normally do like a little quick process, which is literally just I get the audio file from Zoom. I upload the video just as is. I don't do any editing or anything like that. But there's a few steps in WordPress. I set it all up in WordPress. I do the same thing every week. I've got the instructions written down somewhere, but I don't need them. I do the same thing every week. It's probably 10 or 15 different little things I have to check off in order for it to turn up in the feed with an image and with the description and all that kind of stuff. And last week when I did it, there was another feed in there. In like another RSS feed,
okay,
in my website, in the podcast post type, which is weird. It's never there. It just appeared there, and I think maybe something to do with an upgrade or something. I'm not sure, but after the episode, it was confusing me. I did everything the way I normally do it, and it didn't upload. It wouldn't publish, and I was racking my brain. I couldn't work out what was going on.
As in published to Spotify, or
no, it wouldn't even.
It
wouldn't even put the player on WordPress. It would just put all the text. It wouldn't even put the player on there. So I was like, well, something's not right. And then I went to save some changes to the feed. They didn't save, and I was like, okay, is it a hosting problem? But I host it, so I checked out the server, make sure there's nothing wrong there. No space issue, no nothing. I couldn't work out what it was, and then all of a sudden it fixed itself, and I had no idea why or how. And as soon as it refreshed on there, it 10 minutes later it turns up an Apple and I think nothing of it, and then a few days later someone posts and says it's not on Spotify.
Yes.
And so I check Spotify, it's completely gone from Spotify, and I log into my Spotify, it's not even in there because you've got your own little login area with all your stuff. It's completely gone. And so and because this episode in particular I knew would be one people want to listen to, so I was like, oh god damn it, of all the episodes. So I added it back into Spotify manually, thinking we'd lost everything in terms of followers and historical stats and whatnot. But it just picked it back up again and everything returned to normal and everything's fine.
Oh, you mean the whole RSS feed dropped out of Spotify?
Yeah, the whole thing, the whole podcast disappeared from Spotify.
Not just the one episode?
No, the whole podcast was gone. And not just gone from Spotify, gone from my login of Spotify. So I couldn't even log in and troubleshoot or anything. It was just gone.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So apologies to anyone who tried to find it on Spotify, but I I checked the stats before today, and it's got quite a lot of. It's actually the Spotify stuff seems to be picking up for whatever reason.
Okay.
Yeah, and now I'm uploading the video, so you can do the thing where you watch the video or the audio, depending on if you're driving or whether you're looking at your phone.
Oh, on
Quite
Spotify.
cool.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's
Very cool.
That's the Spotify debacle. I put a poll in the group because I got approached by Chris, because I think that the Worrells guy, they're
Yes.
doing a whole bunch of workshops on small business restructuring, and I got approached by the guy who works for him, who's in our group, and asked if we're interested in having him back on the show, right?
Yep.
So I thought, yeah, I think that's a great idea. But then I thought I better post in the group because I know people are fucking sick of this VA shit, and we said no more
Yeah.
VAs. So just
Yes.
to be sure, I posted
Yes.
this in the group.
And what happened?
Well, we got some results on the poll here. So I said, any interest in
Yes.
getting Chris to answer questions about VAs? And we had 21% said yes. We had 68%, which is 23 votes, it's quite a lot, say, nah, no more VA talk. And then we
Yeah.
had 11% say, let's talk about buttered sausage.
Okay.
Clear message there?
That's a pretty resounding vote there for
Shut the fuck up about VAs.
shut the fuck up about VAs, yeah. But there was a really good comment there where DJ said, let's talk about growth, talk about the indies, can nail positive growth, how to hire decent sales reps, build a sales team, shit that I don't know anything about. And try and sort of keep it positive, and build. I think I would agree, and I'm pretty sure I voted nah, no more VA talk, and it's like because we know it's here. We know there's more coming. There's the story. Every VA is unique, but it's just indicative of the industry going through a tough time. And I think probably we would better serve our listeners and probably have some more fun if we just try and make things a little bit positive and try and put a not just sugarcoat things and and for the sake of putting a positive spin on stuff, but let's see if we can't get some guests who can bring some new information or something to the industry and see what we can do.
Yes.
What do you reckon?
That sounds good to me. On that note, local beer day this weekend.
Mm.
What
are you doing?
You know what? It's my kid's birthday on Saturday.
Yeah. Yep.
Will.
So you take your kid to the pub?
I really want to go to Matic because Matic have got a fair bit going on.
That's kid friendly.
And if I go to Matic, they're gonna have white lies there.
Okay.
And I think that should count to me going to Lee's Brewery.
Yeah, that certainly does. Yes.
That's my
and also depending upon the number of children you take there, that also counts as additional visits for the children.
Okay, so I'll go there 4 times then.
That's correct. Oh, you can take Erin as well. Yes.
Well, do they count or just children? Erin's an adult.
No. Erin counts. Well, she drinks, so that counts like for 2.
Erin's quite famous. At your party, everyone kept coming up saying, "G'day, Erin." Erin's like, "Who the fuck are you?" It's really funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Probably because I talk about her all the time. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, so I thought I'd mention the Thirsty Merchants thing because I was talking to Kev, and they've got a big giveaway for $2,500 worth of merch, local beer-related merch that they're putting online tonight, I think, or tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
So
yes, I did see Craig's post, and
so they've been good to us. He's done some design stuff for us. Thirsty Merchants have always been good to me.
Yes. They did my chameleon shirt.
They did our Boss
on the special
Brewer
printer
singlets, all of it.
That's right. So yeah, definitely. I think that should be pretty good.
So go tag your friends on the Thirsty Merchants post. That's my point.
Absolutely. I think I'm going to go to they've got the West Coast IPA Appreciation Society thing at Brewski.
Oh, nice.
I think I might go to that.
What's the go with that?
Well, it's an appreciation society for West Coast IPA.
Okay.
As in the not hazy and quite bitter version of IPA.
I understand what a West Coast IPA is. I got it. I got it. I'm just. Is it Aussie brewers or just any?
Uh no, it's all local breweries. I think they've got
Nice.
7 Mile, the 7 Mile thing on.
Oh
So
yeah, 7 Miles good. Do a good West Coast. Hawkers do a good
well,
West Coast.
apparently, according to Matt on that event page, that it's the best West Coast IPA in the country, according to him.
It's a very good West Coast
And he
IPA.
does love IPA because if
Well-
you've ever been to Brewski, there's the big IPA sign, neon sign, or light above the bar.
The light box, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Remember-
our
did
friend
you- did
Mazen
you
at
go-
Hawkers
did you
won
ever-
the ABA for West Coast IPA. So
That's right. Did you ever
thing.
go to? Did you go to the opening of Brewski Bar when it opened?
Oh God, let me think. I don't think I went to the opening. I went maybe the week after, and we've done events there.
Yeah,
But
I went to the
actual
opening night,
launch.
and that IPA light that's above the bar there, that was like full brightness. Like I had red light treatment on my scalp, and it was like that. It was just like bzzz. When they had their last anniversary party and that sort of thing. I think it was like a 10th anniversary or something like that. Something
Yeah, it's
crazy
only
like that.
a couple of months
And
ago, wasn't it?
yeah, and I was posted a comment on the page going, I hope they get all nostalgic and turn the IPA lights as bright as when the on the day that Brewski opened. And Matty
Nice.
Emerson chimes in. He goes, oh, I'm not sure we can do that anymore if we turn the lights up too bright. Well, if we turn the lights up too bright, the pokies at the caco start paying out.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, that's so good.
Nice. Oh, that'll be good. Okay, so get behind local beer day. It should be fun.
I'm going to try and get to a couple of breweries as well, but yeah.
I actually have 3 different independent breweries in my house at the moment. I normally don't have any beer, but three's good.
That's good.
And I'll drink different ones on the weekend. Right. Yeah. So I put this in. It's not really beer related news. Actually, you should. Fucking dog's going off. You should play this video. Do you want to share your screen and play this TikTok video?
Sure. I'm used to
With
playing
audio. I
videos
don't know.
with
Hopefully,
sound.
we won't get copyright struck. But it's a story from like 60 minutes or some shit. I don't know if that means we're going to get copyright.
Can you
struck.
see that?
Yeah.
I bought this bottle of wine
Here we go.
in the Coles-owned liquor land. Behind me
That's
is
ABC
the
News.
actual church depicted on this label here. And it's really just such a fantastic story. The only problem is that's all it is. It tells a tale of German immigrants coming to South Australia, of 2 Lutheran priests who fell out and built rival churches at opposite ends of the same village. Online, it's promoted as a tale from the Barossa Valley, where the priests disagreed on almost everything except the quality of grapes grown in the now famous wine region. Is this the home of 2 churches?
I couldn't tell you that from this bottle.
Adrian Hoffman says there's no 2 churches vineyard around here.
I think they're sort of misleading the consumer to a certain degree on putting this on the shelf as a branded product.
So where is the home of 2 churches wine?
You look at where it's produced and this says it's Hawthorne East, Victoria.
So here I am in suburban Melbourne. Turns out this is the closest there is to a home for the 2 churches Shiraz. Not that it says Coles anywhere on the bottle. Why are you hiding the fact that you own this brand?
We're very comfortable that the branding approach that we have in our liquor brands is one that resonates with customers.
Coles says it has around 260 private label wines available through its liquor stores. It's since changed its online messaging and removed all references linking the Barossa Valley and 2 churches Shiraz.
Did you watch that? Did you watch that episode of Four Corners?
No, but is it the same one with the Woolies guy who walked out? Because that were the 2 things I was going to. Yeah, right. So they're really coming after the supermarkets.
It's on YouTube. We'll link it in the show notes.
Okay.
That was a fascinating episode of Four Corners talking about the power of the supermarket duopoly in the country.
Did they talk about beer?
They talked about liquor. Beer was part of it, and you know they focused a little bit on wine, and that by extension goes to exactly what they're doing with beer and also spirits as well. They were talking about like a gin brand that just didn't exist and told a story, some story from Tasmania and all that sort of stuff, and you don't know that it's a Coles brand and that sort of thing.
Yeah, they just make shit up.
Like when you go to Aldi, right? and they have all of the Aldi brands, you know they're knockoff brands.
Oh, I don't know. Wheat bites and fruit
Yeah. Like
bites
they're
and
meant to look, they actually purposefully try to look like the real thing, but it's kitsch enough to know that you would know that that's not a real brand. It's just like they're just trying to say, hey, we make this equivalent, Wheat Bix, and it's cheaper, and you
I
should
don't know.
try it. It
I don't
probably
know
comes out of
if
the same factory.
I don't know if the answer to supermarkets ripping people's brands off is Aldi. I don't
No, no,
know.
no, no. But they rip brands off, but
Well, yes, they do.
they
They
well,
all do.
yes. Yeah, but okay. So what's worse though? Hiding behind a fake brand that doesn't exist in the Barossa Valley, or trying to mimic fucking Penfolds or something.
Yeah, good question.
Call it
I mean,
call it Menfolds, or I don't know.
yeah, I don't know what's worse, but the reality is
It's
that
very you escape that fine line on passing off, which is a term used in intellectual property. But
yeah. But the reality is that if your business is reliant on these supermarkets, there's something Jamie Cook told me a long time ago, which I should have listened to, but then COVID came and it all went out the fucking window. But if your business is relying on two companies who are way better at selling product than you are, and they have control over all the distribution and all of the space, and they have an interest in selling their own brands because they'll get more money for doing that,
yes,
then that's a very, very dangerous position to be in, especially if it's a huge
yes.
percentage of your business.
Yeah, you're in the wrong game, mate. And it's like there was a lot of things addressed in that story, not just necessarily about liquor, but the vertical integration, that the home brand things. It's not just liquor that happens right across the
Oh, definitely
supermarket and all that
not
sort of
just
stuff.
liquor. Liquor's
It's
one of the better, I think, of them. Like if you go
Yeah,
into the
but it's
supermarket, it's worse than the bottle shop. Supermarket's worse than the
yeah,
bottle shop.
but
for
the
sure.
supermarkets are getting worse.
They
They're all
can't get
going
much
down
worse.
that path.
They're everything Coles
Yeah.
sells is only Coles.
And
brands.
then there's the whole, particularly around fresh produce, how farmers are getting squeezed. There was milk a few years ago, and now it's fruit and vegetables. And then there's the whole, I thought it was fascinating that old mate goes to walk out of the interview thinking he's been hard done by making some, disparaging comments to a recently retired head of the ACCC, and weren't they? Wasn't it Woolies who was getting done for like $250 million of wage theft or something like that, or is it Coles? I don't know.
Don't know. I know they're getting done for the price gouging thing.
Yeah, they're getting
price
done. Yeah, but
discounting,
it's
the everyday
but they've
price. That was Coles.
squeezed everything. Yeah, well, there's that. Yeah, discount. It's just so many things that are just fucking wrong with the supermarkets, right? Discounts that aren't actually discounts. The vertical integration, the squeezing of small suppliers, the deceptive nature of the vertically integrated brands, the home brands. Suppliers getting squeezed on terms which they mentioned. The fact that they're self-regulated when it comes to the complaints process, and then squeezing staff, and engaging in suspected wage theft and stuff like that. It's just shitty businesses.
in the spirit, and you were right, and I never would have said that when I was running a company where 75% of our sales were done through those two companies. We would only ever say good things about them, but I'm no longer involved in that company, so I can now say that they fucking suck. It's fucking shit. But what do you do about it? If we're trying to be positive, what other than build a business that is more local, more higher profit, lower growth, lower turnover, more keg heavy, more hospo focused.
Yes.
What do you actually do if you want to build a brand in this country around alcohol when
Well,
two of the biggest companies prevent you from doing it, basically?
If we focus on the beer thing, right? And you said, "I'll focus on kegs and hospitality," but here in Queensland, who owns the pubs?
Well, there's that too, and kegs is
the fucking
think about how much of a bad business kegs is.
No, the supermarkets own the pubs in Queensland.
I understand what you're saying, but
because in Queensland, there's no such thing as a bottle shop license. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right. And the only way that you can open a bottle shop is being attached to a commercial hotel license. right? And if you have a commercial hotel license, that gives you the right to have 3 satellite bottle shops within I think it's 5 or 10 kilometer radius and that sort of thing, right? So if Woolies want to open a fucking Dan Murphy's or a BWS, they got to buy the pub to get the liquor license. So they own the pubs.
Probably positive here, Hendo.
Yeah, sorry. And so it's pretty tough. In other states, in Victoria, for instance, there are bottle shop licenses and stuff like that. But I think that kind of is the thing.
There are also it's also changing here a little bit. There are smaller, like the one this Common Ground, is that like one of those ones where they have the kind of the weird license like Craft, where they kind of
yes.
Does that kind of thing
places
happening?
like places like Common Ground, which is a commercial hotel license, Saccharomyces, which has a commercial hotel license and therefore has bottle shops.
Oh, okay.
That's all they are. They're just pub licenses.
But do you have ones like this down the Gold Coast? We've got a bottle shop, Som, another one, Floor Grocer. I think Craft was like this in Craft at Red Hill, where they've got some license where they make a small amount and that's enough for them to be able to sell, sell retail. It's not actually linked to a hotel.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know. I always thought Craft at Red Hill was like that because they used to have like a small like winemaking thing where they would make a small amount just to give them enough to be able to sell there. And like the Som, the wine shop, all they can sell is wine. And it's some sort of limited, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's not linked to a hotel.
I still talk to people who have aspirations to start breweries in Australia and go, oh, I want to be in Dan Murphy's. Fuck Dan Murphy's, man. You know, it's just like I can't think of a worse way to sell beer on really, really long credit terms. You know, you're talking probably 90, 120-day credit terms.
They were only when I left Black Ops, they were 30 days. I don't know if that's changed, but
that's good.
They were 30.
Good. No, they did. To be fair, they did shorten up credit terms during COVID and that sort of thing.
And they kept them. They kept them unless they've changed their minds. Someone can.
I have heard from other breweries that they're starting to wind that back out.
Right.
But then, how do you compete with the supermarket brands? You know.
And you're giving them a lot of data. Look, it's not impossible, but people have done it. But if you're selling a product via their distribution, you don't get any of the data unless you pay for it. They get all of the data, so they know exactly what's selling, why it's selling, giving them all the intel they need to create a product.
So you got to pay for the data.
Yeah.
And then they did that thing. They did that thing last year where they jacked up the distribution center fee.
Yeah, there's that, so you're paying distribution. You pay for the data if you want the data. You're paying for any kind of shelf position activations. I mean, they often do deals so you don't have to pay for it, but
that's called they call that terms. Yes.
Well, no, no,
it doesn't just mean credit terms. It just means terms of the shelf placement and
right. They also have introduced like an in-store advertising network, which you have to pay for.
Yep.
Which of course you have to pay for it. There's people in there that it's like Amazon. That's how they make most of their money is advertising at the time of purchase.
Yes.
But you add all those things together and just fucking not much money left over.
No.
It's pretty tough.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but anyway, positive. It's a positive Friday.
Yeah.
So
there we go. We just
fuck Coles and that's it.
We were positive.
Here we go. We've got something positive. Mighty Craft hands back slipstream.
Yeah. What did you reckon of that?
I said hands back. I might have made that terminology up myself, but I feel like they probably just gave it back. Do you think they just gave it back?
I think, I don't know if they gave it back, but I'm sure that there would have been. I think where's the bloody Brews News still doing news?
Brews News is cranking out the news. Like they're doing more content now than they did before they retired.
Is it just the podcast that stopped?
I have no idea. There's news been pumped.
There's plenty of news coming out from Brews News who's not doing Brews News anymore.
Yeah.
So 45% stake, Mighty Craft's 45% stake handed back to the visionary founders. I thought it was actually 100% sold to Mighty Craft anyway. And there would have been some, there was some shares. I think there was some convertible notes, I think, as well. I read there. And, there we go. So buyback of the buyback shares. Mighty Craft has agreed to partially forgive the liability owed to it under the convertible notes. They took a haircut.
Oh yeah. Well, not only did they
They
take a
just
haircut,
they
if
need
you
cash.
remember, they were that was one of the first investments they made. And the strategy at the time was they were going to build out all these big hospitality venues at all these
Yes.
breweries. And I haven't been to Slipstream
And pubs
since
in
they
Melbourne and that sort of
did
thing.
that. Yeah, but I believe they've got a very big venue there that was all built with the Mighty Craft money.
Right.
And then without knowing the details, I assume they've just kind of gone, okay, we need to get out of all this thing because I feel like they're just liquidating everything. Hopefully
It
they
sounds
just
like
gave
it,
it all
eh?
back. So in the end, founders first, provide them with a free venue.
Well, it is founders first, isn't it?
It is now.
It's
It's
now
come
back with the founders first, the first
Exactly.
founders.
How good. Took them 4 or 5 years of complete stress and agony and shit fights to get there, but
And the
that's a
circle
good
of life is
news.
complete.
Exactly. That's a good news story.
Good on Deal for getting it sorted out. I'm sure that wouldn't have been a very complex deal to negotiate. I'm sure he's very happy.
Did you say
to be
deal twice there?
Deal? Yeah, Deal. No, Deal is in Deal and Alyssa.
Deal made the deal.
Deal Stanley Hunt.
If anyone's going to get the deal done, it would be Deal.
And it's actually spelt wrong in this article. I can see there's Deal with an E on the end, Deale, and then it's got Deal with no E on the end, Deal Stanley Hunt.
Well, do you know why that is?
Well, it's not officially a website anymore.
Exactly. No one works at Brews News anymore. It's all AI. So it's just, there's no editing anymore.
Yeah.
I've got another beer here. However, I changed my mind about what I'm going to have, so I'm going to go get the other one.
Okay.
Is that all right?
I'm actually drinking. Well, you can go get that. I'm actually drinking because this is my favorite of the two. I'm drinking the Twilight Black IPA. No, that's okay. I'm just talking. You go, go.
Yeah, you talk. I can still hear you. So.
I'm drinking the Twilight Black IPA, and don't tell. Well, it was really good to have the Hiker Boys brew these beers to let me. I'm very grateful for letting me hijack their production schedule, especially around this time of the year when there's the Royal Queensland Awards on. They want to enter a lot of beers and stuff like that. Amazing. But the Black IPA is sensational. So is New Zealand Pilsner, but I love the Black IPA. So if you happen to be anywhere near a computer, go to the Hiker Brewing website and go and order some. Pretty sure it's on there. Rock and roll.
That Black IPA was good. I haven't had one for so long. Well, is this the print on?
When was the last time you had a Black IPA?
Dude, so long ago. Is this the so this anyway, this might be the Ether.
Oh.
Look at that style there, Hendo.
West Coast IPA, that looks amazing.
West Coast IPA. I might do a screenshot just in case I use this in the Where's yours? Show me yours.
Oh, do I have to do the Black IPA?
I'll show you mine.
There we go.
Is this the print on demand East Coast canning thing where it's got the?
I don't know.
It's sort of a shrink wrappy type situation.
Oh, if it's a shrink wrap, then that might come from Rallings.
Oh yeah, but it's got a sort of a matte sort of texture to it. Maybe it's just fucking heat. Anyway, yeah, Black IPA was awesome. It was awesome to drink one. I haven't drunk one in so long.
Yeah, they're so good. Very
All
much.
the beers were good.
Yeah, it was good, and the Adam beer was good, and the whole thing was just good.
Yeah, I must say that Adam beer just then was a lot nicer than smashing out of a tin at Al Tandy train station when it was warm.
Oh, incidentally, the Royal Queensland Beer Awards are being judged next week.
Man, yeah, I saw your photo. You were there today, were you?
Yesterday, just dropping off some kegs and stuff like that. So the judging is next Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the awards ceremony is going to be on Thursday.
Next week?
Yeah, next week. Yep.
Oh, how fun.
So it should be really good. So we need to change the day that we're going to do the show because it's going to be like fucking field trip material if I rock up, try and record a podcast on the Thursday after drinks and that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Yeah,
we could feasibly do Wednesday evening.
Oh, why don't we do after the awards and then we have something to talk about?
Yeah, like Friday morning or something.
Possibly. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, okay.
Oh wait, this next week, right? The first.
Don't make me record a podcast after I've been to Netherworld doing shoeies with Matty Cuthbert.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Well, see how it goes.
That's what I did last year.
Do it on a weekend or something, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. That's easy.
All right. You want to do some Hendo reacts? I've only got 3 of them.
Yeah, cool. One moment, madam. Oh, wait, I did need to share sound. Sorry, did I share sound? Oh, yeah, share sound.
But we do have some 12 questions as well. But let's do Hendo
Okay,
reacts.
excellent. All right, TikTok. Let's go.
We are going to rank every hard solo mix we have done. These aren't ranked yet. Start with the Midori and the hard solo.
Oh, there's a blue one and an orange fireball.
Yeah, so
It's at 4 right now.
we should talk people through who are on the audio because most people
Yeah, so
listen to this
there's
and don't
2
watch it.
guys and they've got 5 glasses in front of them.
Yeah.
And they've mixed hard solo with different
good,
spirits. So there's
but
Midori, Fireball,
Pretty
Malibu,
sweet. I'm like 3 or 4.
Vanilla
This is the one
Galliano.
that's going to get you the most piss. Yeah, for sure.
That's Fireball.
And Alizé.
It's a lot of fireball.
They're all different colours.
3. That's what I was just thinking. And Alizé.
Alizé, what the hell is that?
Alizé, it's what all the rappers drink, like Ja Rule and shit in the 90s. They all rap about it.
I think that one.
Malibu and hard solo would be pretty sick.
Yum. Oh, that's so summery. It's
After this is finished, I'll tell you what I did last weekend.
Yeah,
the Midori. Do you want to try the Midori again?
they're all over. They haven't tried the Vanilla Galliano yet.
I prefer this. I think I prefer this.
Midori would be
This is
delicious.
my
Wouldn't it taste like a
Midori would
Coca-Cola
be-
or something?
Yeah, exactly. Midori would be excellent.
The fucking
There you go.
cheesecake gets me every time.
Cheesecake, Vanilla
Okay.
Galliano.
So get me every
Alright.
time.
You don't have to listen. You don't have to watch the whole thing. But anyway, you get the idea. That's
Yeah. So that's really interesting. Tell us your hard solo story.
Oh, so what I did, right? I took your advice, which was to not buy hard solo and instead buy vodka and buy solo
Mhm.
at the same time. But I took it further because I had hard
Good.
solo already, right? And I had a hard solo. And then we wanted to walk up to the beach and we wanted to take a drink with us.
Yep.
So what I did was I cleaned the hard solo cans, like I rinsed them out. And then I put a shot of vodka in each one and solo in each one and a tiny bit of ice. And then
Yes.
we just had a hard solo out of the hard solo can.
Huh. Okay.
And I worked out it was $3 a drink. And it was
Yes.
delicious, by the way. It obviously tastes
Yes.
exactly the same.
It tastes exactly the same. Yes.
$3 a drink as opposed to $8 a drink. It's hard times. So that's
Yeah.
what
That's
you got to do.
perfect.
Yeah.
There is no difference between solo and vodka and hard solo. Save your
No.
money.
And did I take a little cooler thing to your party on the train on the way up with a bit of hard solo and a bit of vodka in it? Maybe I did.
Yes, good.
I'm just
There you
saying
go.
maybe I did.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just
that's what
solo.
you're supposed-
Maybe it was hard.
That's
solo,
what
I
you're
don't know.
supposed to do.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look at this next one here. Another TikTok.
How's your TikTok going?
Well, unfortunately,
RSA
when you
officer.
came in, there was a high level of excitement and frivolity, almost to an excessive level. So I think you just better keep it up.
RSA officer. A cool RSA officer. Oh, that's so good.
Thanks, Brown
Russell
Cardigan,
Steele-
for that one.
Russell Steele's entered the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Is it got sound?
No, that's just a
No,
meme.
Babe, it's like basically, babe, things are going to be heaps different. I swear. There's hard solo, me in 2023, hard rated, me in 2024. They're exactly the fucking same.
Yeah. Oh, that's
They've
good.
changed the lemon tree to just a single lemon,
Oh, true. I actually
think-
didn't even notice
which I
that.
think is actually the solo, logo.
I don't know.
Oh no! The tree is that's the OG.
Oh, they
yeah, so
changed
it's
the logo.
tree.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
so that obviously that's a thing that's on the original solo, which they would have had to have gotten rid of that too. So there you go.
They're doing a lot of advertising for the original Solo as well. I don't know if that's part of it, but
Well, if they can bring back the slam it down fast.
no, they're doing like it's a solo man
the
who
guy
likes
in
to
the
talk about his
canoe.
feelings type shit, you know.
What?
Yeah, it's like loves to slam his drinks down fast and talk about his feelings.
Okay, then.
I don't, you know, I don't
It
know.
wasn't like that in the 80s.
Really know what they're
It was-
doing. No.
Okay.
No.
Man's man likes to slam down fast.
Exactly.
It's probably
Right.
an old Solo ad. Actually, I'm pretty sure we can find one.
How's your TikTok going?
Yeah, great. I just
Yeah.
checked it just now.
And what are you working with?
How many followers have I got? Oh,
Yeah.
here we go. Do you want to see the 1984 Solo ad? You want to see that?
Sure. Is it in the kayak and shit?
Yeah. He's running.
Oh wow. Okay, there you go.
When you're training hard for the triathlon, you work up a real
Got some
solo.
guns on him.
Yeah, look at that.
And a mode.
Lemon
No
solo.
one who runs does a
They came
triathlon
back.
is as jacked as that guy.
And in
Look at him
this
go though.
competition,
Look at
the
that
only place for a
singlet.
solo
Was it a
man
singlet
to
or a
lead
tank top?
is first.
That's a muscle shirt, that one.
Same logo.
Wow.
Solo Lemon. It's light on
Steel
pit,
can,
going
look at
long
that.
on first.
No
So
aluminium.
crack a solo
Oh,
and
how
be a
good.
Solo man.
Be a
Be a
Solo
Solo
man.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Solomon.
All right. Let's get to some
There you go.
questions.
Okay.
We skipped this
Gotta
segment
crack-
last week.
Now I've got the
because we
song
had
in
a
my
guest.
head. Gotta crack a solo.
Okay. You can sing us out at the end of the show. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. Yeah, we skipped the 12 questions last week because we had a guest and they're generally not appropriate. So sorry about that. Oh, we got 12 comments. Perfect.
Excellent.
All right. Adam B reviews Sans wonky hair. Yeah, that's fair. I had a hair problem. But at least I got hair, so it's fine.
What's wrong with not having hair?
Right. Craig Maiden question: what are you both doing for local? Here we go.
Craig.
We answer. Oh no, Lee McAllister's replied. God damn it. Dan is visiting me at Maddock Brewing Company. Right. Yeah, that's the loose
That's it.
plan.
We've already established that. Yes.
Oh, sneak peek preview. There's our version of Hard Solo, just as bigger, better, and by the pint. Oh, I've got to go now.
Okay.
Got to go now.
I might have to go.
Wait, does that mean Lee's actually going to be there?
Maybe.
Sounds like it.
Sounds good.
If that's the case, I'm not going to go.
No, you should go.
You know what I should do?
What?
I should go to White Lies. All right, Louis G. It's almost that time of the year. Question: what team is going to win the 2024 F1 Championship and what driver? Okay, so you saw the results of the practice. You're putting your hat back on. Did you see the results of the training?
Oh,
sort of
yeah.
run?
Yeah. Yes. Did you
Thoughts?
see the cars, though? Verstappen crushed it, obviously.
Yeah.
Did you see the Red Bull car, though?
I saw it, but I don't notice things about the cars. I don't really-
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Very bit of a radical design. So basically, every other car that's not Red Bull has copied Red Bull, and Red Bull have gone and copied the old Mercedes car.
Really?
Yeah. The
Interesting.
no side pods thing and all that sort of stuff. It's phenomenal.
Wow. I thought this year's not big reg changes, right?
No, it's just like third year of the same regs, and then next year won't be much of a change either, because all of the teams will want to save their money for the 2026 cars with the new regulations.
Yeah.
So what we get this season is pretty much what's going to take us through the end of 2025. So,
And we're just going to get another max domination, probably.
What about the RB?
What do you mean?
The Visa Cash App RB,
Oh, the name?
the old Alpha Tauri. It's just called RB now.
Oh, yeah. It's a stupid name. But Ricardo's fourth. Well, not fourth, but he
He's
was
doing
quick.
right. Yeah.
He was quick. So that's good.
Well, that's an interesting thing they've done with the car. They've done like the Haas, but off Red Bull. They bought every possible part they can off Red Bull.
Okay.
And yeah, that's it.
Well, I'm hoping for a good year for Ricardo.
Yeah, he should be right.
Predictions.
When does
Max
Drive
is
to
gonna win
Survive
everything.
come back on?
Oh, soon. I think it's start of March, like a week and a bit, I think. You know what else is out is a podcast I listened to today on. Do you listen to the Checkered Flag podcast, the BBC one?
No.
So this is like my F1 podcast I listen to. They just summarize every race. It's good.
Yes.
But they've got one called Back at Base where they go back to the factories like between the seasons and they talk about what's going on at the factories and whatnot. So there's another episode out like right now. So they were at Mercedes and Williams and talking to Toto Wolff and talking to the Williams team principal and then talking to some mechanics. Pretty cool. Not like the drama of the Netflix one, but just the same behind the scenes kind of idea.
Yeah, cool.
Worth checking out.
Yeah. I'll give it a look.
So prediction, Max is just going to win everything. You're not going to predict anything other than that, are you?
I don't think there's anything else to say about that.
No.
So, but I think we probably should have a think about, not now, but at some point, what our over-under is going to be for this season.
Yeah. Well, you picked Carlos Sainz to win last year, and now he doesn't have a drive.
Yeah,
so
that's fucked that up, didn't I? I predict that Carlos Sainz is going to be out of a job at Ferrari at the end of the season.
Yeah. Sainz will be fine. He'll get a drive. He's great. He'll be fine.
Yeah, but where will he go though? I saw a photo of him talking
probably
to Toto.
Mercedes, I'd say.
Yeah, I saw a photo of him having a chat with Toto at the back at the paddock.
Perfect fit. I would take him. He's good.
He is good.
Him and Russell.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do an over/under for the year, and then we'll do one for the first race when it comes up. All right, Ryan Massingham. Question for Dan: do you miss being involved with the beer industry after moving on from BH? Have you found a similar community in the coffee industry? If I didn't miss it, I probably wouldn't do this podcast.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd just fuck off. Yes, I do miss it. Absolutely. Yeah. I think the things I miss the most, other than like the feeling of building something that you think's going to be great and significant, that was really what I was in it for. But the community I miss the most, and just having a local like watering hole that you own is like the coolest thing ever.
Yes.
And the local stuff that you do that gets people around that, like there's so many things in the beer industry, like the awards, or there's a birthday, or there's a staff beer, and all the people come and drink it and hang out. That's like the coolest thing ever. Like that doesn't happen in coffee. So yes, I do miss it.
Awesome.
And the coffee community is good, but no, it's not similar.
It's not the same. Can't be as social.
No, it's great though. No complaints. I really enjoy my day to day. I really enjoy actually, and I would say much more than I was enjoying where I was at towards the end of working in the beer industry. Significantly more, but I do miss it. Jake Woods, questions for Hendo. Have you had much experience with brewing beers with Clarex to knock out the gluten? I'm guessing that's a yes.
Yeah.
There's two. I'll read the whole question.
Yeah. Okay.
How many celiacs that you know of have been fine after drinking beers brewed with it? Recently diagnosed with celiac disease, so a big lifestyle change for me. Oh, this is that craft beer Jake guy, right? Jake Woods.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I saw his Instagram saying he's diagnosed with celiac disease, which is a bit of a bummer.
Yes.
So big lifestyle change for me. I am lucky to have Two Bays Brewing near my house, which is handy.
Yes, and Two Bays makes some excellent non-barley gluten-free beers, which is amazing.
Proper gluten-free.
Because proper gluten-free because Christian Martin is a bloody champion, very very talented brewer. In Australia, according to Food Standards Australia and New Zealand, you cannot call something gluten-free if it's got barley or wheat in it. Or any gluten-containing cereal grain, even if you use Clarex, which breaks down the gluten.
Isn't it also true that you can't call it gluten-free if it's made in the same equipment that makes stuff that isn't gluten-free?
No, you can. You just need the right protocols in place so that you're on top of your cross-contamination risk and stuff like that. So yes, you can, but you need to have the right protocols in place, like labeling tanks and good CIP and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
You can call it gluten reduced And lots of breweries have approached me and said, "Oh, I want to do gluten-free beer. We're going to put Clarix in." You go and you say, "You can't call something gluten-free." In fact, the only way that you can call something gluten-free is by getting a license from the Celiac Council or something like that. Celiac Australia, right? They're the people who issue the rubber stamp that says you're okay to call this product gluten-free. Breweries can call their product gluten reduced, provided that it has less than 20 parts per million of gluten in it. And if you throw Clarix in and that you're going to be okay, think again, because you have to get every batch tested for gluten, because we're talking an allergen here, right? So if you're diagnosed celiac, right, you just can't. If gluten will make you sick, and we're very fortunate being brewers, is that but for things like gluten and stuff like that, there's no allergens, right? Lactose is an allergen. You have to declare that on the label and stuff like that. Let me rephrase that. There are very few allergens in beer, right? And so you're not really required to label stuff and stuff like that. So you can't just make claims about food because you think that it meets that requirement, especially something that involves an allergen. I mean, you got to think about it, man. Someone gets sick as a result of you not being mindful of what doing your job and that sort of thing. You got a responsibility to those consumers. You make people sick. That's bad. Right?
Yeah.
So
if they drink too much and get sick, that's their fault. But
that's a different story.
If they have too much White Lies hard solo and
too much Adam beer even.
Yeah, well then that's their problem.
Yeah, exactly. But if you've got an allergen, you have to be very, very careful as a producer. Now, the interesting thing is that there are a lot of breweries who use Clarix that don't necessarily make that claim of gluten reduced.
Yeah.
And can someone who has celiac drink gluten reduced beer and be okay? And that's going to vary from person to person. There's going to be a person there's going to be a celiac out there who's going to get really sick from as little as 20 parts per million of gluten. Whereas another person might be totally okay. You just can't roll the dice in that way as a producer, and his question
is as a consumer, I think.
Yeah,
right.
So here's the thing. So as a producer, you can't roll the dice that way, but most certainly as a celiac consumer, definitely can't roll the dice that way. You're gonna wind up. It's like Russian roulette. You're playing Russian roulette, and so that's why there are good breweries like Two Bays who make that gluten-free claim and can make that gluten-free claim because they don't use any gluten-containing cereals in their beer.
Yeah.
And they only produce gluten-free beer in their brewery. So there's none of that risk of cross-contamination and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself being celiac, drink Two Birds. There's nothing wrong with it. It's great beer. There's some really good beers coming out of Two Birds. Really, really good beers.
Two Bays.
Two Bays, sorry.
Not many beers coming out of Two Birds, but
Two Birds right now. That's right. All that.
Actually, all the beers coming out of Two Birds are gluten-free. There's no gluten in the beers coming out of Two Birds.
Absolutely. There's no beer coming out of Two Birds. Sorry, Two Bays. And so yeah, that would be my advice. Stick to the Two Bays.
I wonder how this works though, because he's obviously been drinking beer for a while, and then all of a sudden he's been diagnosed with celiac. Is it the sort of thing that creeps up on you?
Or, I don't know.
I don't know. I do know that my stepmom was gluten intolerant to a pretty severe extent, and then overnight it just went away. So no idea why or how or whatever, but hope that happens to Jake, and then he can drink as much beer as he fucking wants from wherever.
That'd be good. Yeah.
If not, Two Bays. Paul Metcalf question: have either of you tried? Paul Metcalf. See, this is why.
Why? What do you do?
This is why we don't ask questions when we have guests. Fucking, what are you doing? All right, I'm going to read
What's
it
the
because
question?
okay, I'll read the question because he's asked it and he's one of the 12. He's arguably 12 member of the year last year.
Yep.
Question: have either of you
Yep.
tried genital cupping? If so, how was it?
I'm sorry, what?
I'll read it again. Have either of you tried genital cupping? If so, how was it?
What is that?
I could probably demonstrate it to you now. We'd have to do it via Zoom. It'd be a little bit awkward. Let's not
Like, is
demonstrate
this
it.
something?
I'll just explain.
Is this something you do by yourself or with another
No,
person?
you do it. It's a bonding exercise you do with a partner to help stimulate growth in your relationship.
Huh.
Genital cupping. You know, the funny thing is that when
Never
they had
done
this
it.
whole thing on. So this is from Maths, right? I'll say that. He
Right.
watches. He
Oh,
obviously
that's where
watches
it's
Maths.
from.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay. They're making sense.
So they do this thing where they have to like hold their hand close to the other person's like genitals. Don't touch it. That's
both of
holding
them.
close there. They both like hold their hand there. And that's
Okay.
like one of their exercises that's apparently going to improve them. It's so fucking
That's the
stupid.
stupidest thing I've ever heard
It's
of.
so stupid, but I just keep watching it every fucking night. But anyway, but in coffee, like you do cupping. This is like a thing you do. Like
Yes,
we
I
do
know.
it all the
That's
time.
what I was going to say. You do cupping in coffee.
I know. So anytime anyone says cupping, I just think of that. But no, I haven't tried the genital type.
I've done cupping, and I had to. You have a sip of the coffee, and then you go.
You go, yeah. All right. Thank you for your question, Kevin Davis. It's the Royal Queensland Beer Awards next Thursday. What are both of your
Yes.
predictions for who will take out Grand Champion beer? Can I add to this question? Cannot be any beer from Moffat Beach cannot be included in your
Okay, we
answer.
disqualified Moffat Beach.
Yeah, Moffat Beach is disqualified.
That makes it tough, doesn't it? Matty Wilson's speaking at the High Country Hop Symposium in late March down at Beechworth, and I'm
Nice.
thinking of going, but it's the Taki more intensive at the same time. So,
Oh, okay. Well,
so
what's
I'm
more
undecided.
important, Matty Wilson or making bank?
Both. I think I can handle both.
Okay, you can do both. Just don't
Mm.
lose your bet, or else we won't be able to drink beer.
No, that's right. So, anyway, I don't know yet.
Well, you probably can't guess because you're part of the.
It's like So I'm a judge, so I'm a little bit, and I'm also on the organising committee, so I've got to be really careful as to what I say, because I've been privy to information in the organising the competition, but I won't be privy to once the judging starts and that sort of thing. So we can't do it under over, but you can certainly have a crack.
Can I just confirm? I didn't actually ask this on the weekend, but do you know if they're entering this in the Queensland Beer Awards?
I actually don't know.
There was talk of them entering this beer. I would need
That's
to know.
the Hiker Adam beer.
Yeah, it's the Hiker Adam beer, so I'm going to.
They're entering quite a few beers, so I know I don't know if the Adam beer is in it, but there are quite a few beers that are that they're entering and stuff like that.
I'm gonna say it's either going to be. I'm going to just say it's going to be a new brewery, that not the type that normally win these types of awards. It's going to be someone you don't expect, like someone new.
Yeah,
a weird beer from someone new. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Or the Adam beer if that's been entered.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Predictions. Kalani Fuller, question 1: have any of you been to Portland, Oregon?
No, I'd love to go though.
If so, what are some must-visit breweries to visit? I went there a few years ago when I wanted to take Eddie and Gubs to the States because it was right when everything was taking off. And we went to Portland and we did a marijuana tour in a bus that had marijuana leaves all over it. And we went to all the dispensaries and everyone just got blazed out of their mind. And then
Did you get blazed out of your mind?
I don't think so. I never really smoked marijuana, so maybe I did that day. I don't really know. I was more interested in drinking beer. We went to some brewery that was like making marijuana beer. It was a beer festival weekend as well. The whole fucking place was like teeming with people. There was like 60 breweries. I think at the time, there was. I think it was 60 breweries in a city the size of the Gold Coast.
Wow.
And I think at the time the Gold Coast had like 6. So it had like 10 times the amount of breweries in the same size city. It was crazy. It was fucking awesome. It was like Melbourne. It was like Melbourne in America. Must visit. I think this is quite a while ago now. This is like 2015, I think, or yeah, 2016. Cascade, I think. Modern Times is really good, but I think they've all gone to shit since then. I think Cascade are in Portland. That was cool.
Yeah.
It was like negative 20 degrees. Everywhere you go in America to a brewery, the beers are fucking awesome. So yeah, it's been too long to recommend someone specific other than Cascade was cool, but anywhere you go will be amazing.
Do you want to go to the Grand Prix in Melbourne?
Yeah, I think it's all sold out by now, though, isn't it?
No, I've just got an email with some tickets. The 3:30 Club, the 3:30 Club, 3:30 Club. I don't know where that is. Oh, it's right on the pit exit. 3-day pass, $4,995.
If you're paying, yes, I will 100% go.
I can't afford that. I think we should go to
Definitely
Singapore, though.
We'll go to Singapore. How long have we got to have enough money to go to Singapore?
Well, it's pretty cheap to fly to Singapore, and the race tickets will be pretty cheap. So
let's go to Singapore.
Yeah.
All right. Andrew Lang, are there any trends regarding beer styles, and will we see the next live stream of the Boston Brewer? Trends is not my thing. You want to answer if there's any trends regarding beer styles? Otherwise, the second question: will we see the next live stream of the Boston Brewer?
Yes, there'll be a live stream in the future. We just
Why
don't
don't you
know
do a
when.
live stream after the Queensland Beer Awards, after your field trip?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay. I think that's a good idea.
Just bad news. Bad news.
Okay. Well, that was a yes. Not sure when.
Yeah.
And final question, Stephen Kegel, how did Hendo pull up after his birthday bash?
Not too bad, thank you. Yeah. I got up
Did you
the
stay
next
long?
day. I left at about 12:30, 1 o'clock, I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry. No, I left on midnight because that's when the license ends.
It took you a while to walk out the...
Yeah. And
That's
say
fine.
goodbye to
Yeah.
everybody and put presents in the office and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I was okay the next day. I got up at a reasonable hour, like, maybe 9 o'clock or something. Got up, had a beer,
Well,
went down to Common Ground Cellars, had a beer, then got on the ferry, went to the regatta, had a palmy,
nice.
and then came back and had a very long afternoon snooze, and then just hung out on Sunday. A very relaxing day. It was really good.
Did it feel like the kind of the back nine of your life, or...
No, no, I still feel really young. I still feel really young. So, yeah, it was funny.
Okay, awesome. Let's wrap it up. Put your Ferrari hat back on.
Oh, of course. Vroom, vroom.
Right.
Oh, sorry, that's Mazda.
Yeah. Mazda, no, not starting an F1 team anytime soon. All right, mate. Love your work. We'll figure out next week. We'll do it on the weekend.
We'll figure
or
out next
something.
week. We'll do it after the awards, and that way we can talk about it. So next week episode's going to be late. So don't get all weird on us if we're a bit late.
Yes, and next time you see me, it'll be taking a selfie with Lee at White Lies, or someone who works for Lee actually at White Lies while he's at Matic.
That sounds pretty good.
Okay, awesome.
See you next week.
See you, mate. Bye.